For our last example, this one's going to look a little bit different. This one's kind of interesting because it's a chain rule inside of another chain rule. We're actually going to use a chain rule twice here. So when I look at this, the way I can kind of identify this, I first of all see this natural log function being squared. I see a function inside of another function right there. Remember that brackets serve the same kind of purpose as parentheses here. So this is, first of all, one function inside of another function. So there's our first chain rule. But then when I go to take the derivative of this inside part, natural log of x cubed minus 2, that's going to be another chain rule. So this is a double chain rule problem. You could even have a triple chain rule problem if we wanted to really go crazy. But this is a chain rule and a chain rule. I'm going to try and slow this process down, and here I'm going to go really back to basics. I'm going to try and go back to that four-step process that we talked about at the very beginning of this section. I'm going to take my inside function, my first inside function, I should say, to be natural log of x cubed minus 2. So I'm going to take u equals to natural log of x cubed minus 2. U prime, the derivative of u, here's where my second chain rule is happening. So here, for my second chain rule, the derivative of natural log of x cubed minus 2, that's going to be 3x squared divided by x cubed minus 2 using our chain rule shortcut. So we've got u prime. So if I wanted to rewrite this function in terms of u, we would have f of u is equal to u squared. And that's a much nicer function for us to be working with here. So I'm going to go ahead and take the derivative now. For our chain rule, we know we need f prime of u, but we also are going to have to multiply by u prime. So the derivative of u squared, that's going to look like 2u times u prime. So at this point, all we need to do is go ahead and plug our u and our u prime in. So we're going to have 2 times u, that's natural log of x cubed minus 2, times u prime times 3x squared divided by x cubed minus 2. If you wanted to leave your answer like that, I think that's perfectly fine. You can't really simplify that much more. If you really wanted to, you could put this over 1 and then multiply straight across for our two fractions. So we could simplify this, and we could say that this is 6x squared times natural log of x cubed minus 2 divided by x cubed minus 2. But again, I think if you wanted to leave it as it was originally written, I think that's perfectly fine too. So keep an eye out for these double chain rule problems, because I do think they're pretty tricky, especially when we just learned the chain rule in this first section. Keep an eye out for those problems. The best way to improve when working with multiple derivative rules is just to practice, just like it is for everything else in math. So I highly, highly, highly encourage you to spend some time with the practice problems and the homework problems for this section. Please make sure that you get some practice in, you build up your confidence and are feeling pretty good, because we're going to be using all of these derivative rules for the remainder of chapter 3. We're going to be seeing them in chapter 4 too.